Hey guys, welcome back. Today, Sunday, the 31st of January, and got a few things to do. I got the support for the bumper, so I can get the bumper on and see where I need to put the intercooler. I also have to make some more upper bumper mounts, because these ones, I don't know what happened to them. So also have some repairs to do. I kind of already started them off camera, and I'll just quickly go through those with you. But yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing here real quick. So this is my bumper mount I got. Pretty good condition, but the main thing I'm addressing today is this. So I guess old batteries took a toll on this battery mount, so I'm just going to cut it out. As well as this was, whenever wants to return, this was what was left of, I'll show you on this side, so this is a part where the bumper mount, or the bumper support mounts, and on the other side this is what was left of it, so pretty much nothing. So I already went ahead and fixed that. I just cut that piece out, that portion out of it, and used the factory nut and stuff, as well as this stud over here. So on this side, there's a stud that the bumper support slots into. It's good on this side, but it was broken off on this side, so I drilled it out, and I've got this one in there, so I'm gonna just do a couple spot welds on the other side to hold it in there. So this will be another mounting point for it. So all that's kind of fixed right now. But yeah, I'm gonna tackle this. I'm debating whether to relocate the battery in the back or just rebuild the whole mount here. I'm probably going to build it in the back, or relocate it to the back, just because then I can take my intercooler piping, come down, and come out this way right into it, and not really have to worry about space or anything. Because if I leave the battery here, there really isn't any space. Like, I could maybe come down here, but then I won't have a fan shroud, and so I'll probably cut this whole thing out and just leave it flat. And yeah, but I did some work over here a while ago. Like, I just cleaned up some rust and reprimed it, and it doesn't look like any rust came through again, so that's good. But yeah, so just gonna do a quick time lapse of cutting this out, and I'll decide what I'm gonna do then. So yeah, just a quick update. I got all this cut out. I threw some self-etching primer on there just so it doesn't rust. I don't have the metal to replace it right now. The metal I do have is way too thick, so I went ahead and did some other stuff as well. I got this piece on, and I got my intercooler mounted. I still have to do the bottom mounts on it. But yeah, and I had the bumper on it, but I took it off because I have to take this off again to paint some areas I had there that I hit with the grinder. So yeah, the intercooler fits good, clears the bumper and everything. The pipes they'll come out right here. right where this hole is, come out right into there, and then on the other side they'll come out. Once I get this plate in, I'll have a hole in it for this to come out and right down into there, so it's pretty good. I also fixed up some rust, like I painted this up, there was rust all over it, ground it down, fixed it, and like I said, threw some primer on there. But yeah, I also marked out this, so I have to cut this straight so I can get my pie cut on there. So just a cheesy little trick you can do is bolt it up and set it obviously a little bit below your hood and cut out a piece of cardboard that slides over it, and then kind of eyeball it straight. So I moved it a little bit, but you can see it's kind of straight there. So you just go around your mark around it, and then that's your cut line, and then it should be fairly straight. You can tweak it any way you want once it's tacked up or whatever. But yeah, that's about all I'm going to do for today. Tomorrow I'm going to get some metal for here to weld in. I have to get something for my hole saw, a chuck or whatever, and yeah, I think that's basically it. I'm going to have that welded up tomorrow, hopefully. And yeah, I'll finish up with the bottom mounts on the intercooler. Still have to do those. And the bumper I have to build. I think there was some mounts here originally for the bumper, but I don't know what happened to those. So I have to build some mounts for here and here. Top mounts, so it isn't just shaking and rattling everywhere, and actually has someone to bolt into. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's another day. I'm just continuing on here with some body work, mainly just in the engine bay area. So I've got my piece of metal cut out for when I cut out the battery tray area. I'm going to relocate the battery, and I'm going to build a little battery tray too for the back of the trunk. This will just make it easier to route my intercooler piping. It'll pretty much be a direct shot. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly show you how I did that, and then I'm going to weld it all up. So I'm pretty much ready to weld it in here. It's not exactly where it's going to be, but I just pretty much cut it out of the cardboard first and then trace it on the metal, of course. And you can kind of figure out where your bend lines are going to be. It's a little tricky with the cardboard if it already has creases like this, but yeah, you can pretty much bend it any way you want. A really easy way to bend it, I'm using 18 gauge, is to just run a little zip cut line across where you need to bend it, and it'll bend really easily, and it'll bend on that line instead of like you're gonna end up warping the rest of this if you don't do that, pretty much. So don't cut all the way through, obviously, just a little one pass with it and it'll bend pretty easily. But yeah, that's pretty much ready to go in, so I'm gonna weld that up and then I'll get back to you guys. I don't know how much I'm gonna get done today, but I spent a lot of time reorganizing and cleaning up a little bit. But I also want to get my up pipe on. I also welded that out, so this is all good to go. I'm gonna be wrapping this too, so you won't really see it anyway. I never really measured for how much it's gonna come out of the hood, or even if it does. So I'm kind of winging it there. I kind of just eyeballed it. But yeah, I want to cut the hole in the hood for that as well. I'm going to throw some paint on it before I wrap it so it doesn't rust. And I also want to try and get this on and build the other mounts for the bottom of the intercooler, and then I want to kind of mock up my piping where it's going to go so I can get my flange welded on for my blow-off valve. And yeah, it should be pretty easy going from here. It's kind of slow because I'm just fixing up a few things in the engine bay, like cleaning up rust and painting, and paint takes time to dry, so it just takes a little, it's taking a little longer than normal, but definitely when I'm done with this motor, I'm definitely going to repaint the whole engine bay, because it's just, it looks so ugly with primer everywhere and blue and red, like it's the Spider-Man mobile right now. But yeah, I'm going to quickly weld this in and I'll get back to you guys. So it didn't really go smoothly. I definitely could have made my cuts a little better. Like you can see, lots of gap there and lots over here. But my welder is actually acting up. It's running out of wire, so I have to get more wire before I can finish that. But I think it's in there good enough to drill a hole through it with the 3-inch hole saw. And yeah, I'm gonna run some piping to see where I need to drill my hole, and then I'm gonna hook up the exhaust, and I'm gonna try to mark out the hole on the hood to cut that for today. I still need to find some cable so I can run my battery to the back, and while I'm here today I might also build a battery tray. So yeah, that's the goals for today, and see you in a minute when I get the exhaust on. Okay, so I've got everything laid out on the hood where it should be. I hope it's right. Kind of just winging it. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we better hope that it does, or else I have a screwed up hood. So I already have my poly hole drilled. I just have to get my hole saw, and then I'm going to grinder out the rest. But yeah, gonna get to it. There's just something about cutting up a half decent hood that, I mean, it already had holes in it for hood pins. Oh well. Here we go. Oh. Yeah. I'm just gonna try to make sure I'm not gonna be drilling through anything as I'm drilling through with that pilot bit. Oh wait, this thing really all the ground. Cutting. Oh God, why? Stupid idea too. Okay, so that's our hole. It's not the greatest hole, but I'm gonna put the up pipe on and see if we just cut apart okay hood for nothing. So I got the hood dump done. Actually came out pretty good. It's a little rough around here, but I'm gonna be putting like maybe a 1/2 inch thick or 1/4 inch thick piece around it and rivet on like just some thin metal piece of aluminum or something. Still have to take a little bit off here. You can see it's pretty tight, but back here lots of room. I have solid motor mounts. I don't know if I'm going to put them in just yet, but I'm going to wait. I'm just going to see how much this moves. But yeah, so that's fits perfect. Came out pretty good. Also, while I was at it, plumbed up this cold side, so it's coming down. I have to widen this hole here. There's a hole from the factory right here. It's 2.5 inch, and this is 2.5 inch, or that's like 2 5/8, so it's just barely big enough to fit through. But I've got this cold side done, so it comes down and goes right into the intercooler. It actually came out pretty good. It was fairly simple. I just had to make 2 cuts and it was good to go. This side's going to be a little more tricky because I have to come down. I'm going to come out this way, and I've already got a hole marked here. I just have to get a different chuck for my hole saw because the one I'm using keeps coming undone. So, but yeah, it's going to go down there, and then it'll come through here and straight shot into the intercooler. It kind of sucks because this kit I have, it only comes with 2 90s, which I've already used on the cold side, so I'm gonna have to put a straight coupler and then a 90 piece of pipe, and then another straight coupler and then another 90 piece of pipe up, and maybe I'm gonna have to probably get one more 90 coupler just to make it easier, because I don't want to cut up all this pipe in a bunch of different ways. Like, I have lots, but I just want to make sure. I'd like to have some left over in case. I also have to weld on a place for the MAF and for the blow-off valve. So I've got a flange here. So yeah, this has to go on our pipe. So just for an example, fits on there pretty good. So we'll have to TIG weld that on there. Not this specific pipe, but whenever I get that set up. But I think that's a pretty good success for today. Got a lot done. And yeah, so I still have to adjust this bar a little bit to mount up the bumper, just to get my gaps right in between my headlights, and as well as finish up welding that. So I have to get some more MIG wire and some other stuff, like wrap the exhaust. I'm still going to wrap that, protect that brake master. I still might end up building a heat shield around this. It's going to be tricky, like it's really tight, but gotta try something. So I also got spark plug wire protectors in the mail, so they should be here this week, because these are going to be pretty close to the exhaust, so I don't want those melting. And I did order bigger injectors, the proper ones. They were very expensive, and do not want to talk about that. But yeah, so these factory ones aren't going to stay. I got 800cc ones on the way. I went with 800cc because you can never have too much fuel, so, and I can tune it down in the programming or the tuning. So And it'll come in handy when we build this motor too, for our power goals. So we'll be safe that way. So yeah, we're slowly getting there, slowly but surely. I really like how this turned out, besides the welding part. But yeah, I'll be able to buff those down and make them look nice. It looks way better than what was there. And it'll look nice in here with the battery in the back. It'll clear up a lot of space. So yeah, everything's coming along pretty good so far. Still have a little bit of body work to do around the engine bay. But yeah, so that's it for this episode. It's getting a bit late, so hopefully on the weekend I'll be able to have the hot or the cold side. Yeah, the cold side mocked up. I said earlier I had the cold side already mocked up, but I meant the hot side. So yeah, hopefully I'll have the cold side mocked up, and then next week I should have maybe the flanges and stuff welded on, and for the MAF and stuff, and also have to wire in the Z32 MAF. So still lots to do, but it's definitely starting to look like a car again. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.